We used to have each other's playlists. No, no. Used to be each other's best friends. Yeah. And now we go our separate pathways, but your heart's still in mine.
So if you guys live in Sydney, like me, you guys all know that Sydney is a really expensive city to live in. It's one of the most expensive places to live in right now, and right now there's like the rental crisis, so a lot of people are paying heaps of money for their rent, and it's almost really hard to like think of finding any places that are like cheaper than like I would say $500 for like one bedroom. So yeah, I think right now I am truly lucky that I am temporarily living with my dad and his partner, and I only pay about $130 for rent, and that doesn't include electricity, internet and other bills, so it does add up. But I just wanted to share with that as well, so you guys know that I don't pay quite a lot of rent right now, which is lucky. But then I do plan to move soon, so I'll also share with you that soon when I do move, and obviously my expenses will be a lot higher for my rent and bills. But yeah, let's get to the part where I share with you how much I spend in a week and what is my like budgeting plan. Let's go. So I just wanted to share with you firstly about how much I spend with my essentials. And our essentials meaning like food and petrol, things that I really need to pay, that are fixed things. So I don't know if that's how you say it, but so the first thing I'll definitely say is rent. So rent is always $130, and in terms of my electricity and my internet, it is quarterly, so I haven't paid it again. So I'm lucky that I haven't paid that yet. I did pay it like in the beginning of the year, and then my petrol. So I think yesterday it was about $45. But it kind of ranges, so I put like $60 for maximum for petrol. I know that this will go down when I move, but right now, because I live quite far from the city and from everywhere else, I wouldn't say it's really far, but I would say it's quite far from places that I like to go to, so I do spend quite a bit on petrol. I do like to go to the city. So I don't drive to the city, but I do try to go to a station that is closer to the city. I do go to visit my sister, so there's a lot of places that I like to go to that are not close to me. So I do think that I want to invest in petrol money. So the next thing is groceries. So I'm currently not buying. I don't buy like groceries for my meals, so I have HelloFresh, and it costs about $70 not 70, it's $79.99, so it's $80 per week, and that's like a weekly payment. And then for groceries, for other stuff like milk and like fresh fruits and snacks, I spend around $30. So if you add up, it would be about $110 for groceries, which is really high. So I'm planning to cut that down to half, or even, I think half, so like $60-ish when I move. So right now I have cancelled my HelloFresh subscription so that I can sort out how much money I can spend on the groceries. I do eat out quite a bit, so I do eat out like either once or twice a week. It's not a lot for some people, but for me it is quite a lot, considering I do spend the whole day out on the weekends, and sometimes it's like not just once that day but twice. And imagine like the cost of eating out right now, like I would say I spend around $23 like to like $30 for like a meal that's like at a really nice place. Nice meaning like the food is really good. The cheapest I've spent on food would be around like $14. So I usually try my best to eat really cheap when it's just with me and another person, but whenever it's in a group setting, I do see that I spend more money, like $20 to $30, and it's quite a lot. So I definitely want to cut down on eating out as well, and that is pretty sad to me because I do enjoy eating out with my friends, but I've noticed that a lot of my money does go to eating out. So I'm putting a budget of about like $50 on eating out. So this would include eating out with my friends and having coffee. So yes, another thing on my list is how much coffee I do buy per week. So lately I've been like, I think I spend about twice a week I do go out and spend money on coffee. I think it was like 2 to 3 times when I was working and just right after I quit, but now I'm trying my best not to buy coffee until the weekend, so like once a week. And coffee in Sydney right now, so I would say for iced coffee it's about $8, and I have it with soy milk, so it's like extra 50 cents. And then for like just a regular, like I usually get like a soy mocha or like a soy latte, so it's about like $5.50. And it really depends on where you go, because I do know that some coffee shops are quite expensive, especially around the city or like in areas that are more expensive. So I usually go to cafes and study it, also like look for jobs. So that had really encouraged me to like be productive. But nowadays I've resorted to going to the library instead, so bringing my own lunch and my own coffee. So that's what I'm doing later. But yes, if you guys are like me and you don't really feel productive at home because your laptop and your computer is like in your room, it's really I think I really recommend you like changing environment to like a library. So if you have a local library, make use of it. The internet is usually free, and you can usually bring in your own coffee. I don't think they really let you eat there, so I usually eat outside, and it's just nice to be able to eat outside as well. I usually find that and it's a weird thing, but I digest my food better, or like the food tastes nicer when I do eat outside rather than inside. So yeah, I think that's kind of. And then another thing that I want to mention is that I do pay for car insurance. So I'm gonna look up here. My car insurance is about $72.20 per month, and that's something that I invest in because it's for my car. And I also have private insurance, which is for my teeth, my eyes, and other I think those are the main things I use it for. And usually, yeah, it just reminded me I need to check my teeth. But usually the cost of teeth is really high, so I try to get private insurance. I don't have hospital cover or anything like that, so it's just I do have like other benefits, but I haven't really used it. So yeah, I might plan to use it because I'm paying quite a lot for my private insurance. I do pay about $38.48 per month. And I think like private insurance is always great because you get access to a lot of like specialists for like a cheaper price, like consultations. And I know that for me, my health is really important, so I know that it'll be important for me to have that access if anything happens to me, and if I don't have enough money in my savings. So I do invest in my medical insurance and my phone internet, like my SIM phone bills. So I spend around $43.17 per month, and that is includes internet as well. So if I was to go out and I want to stay at a cafe, I also want to go to places that I use my GPS as well on my phone. So I really invest in like good network for my phone. Those are kind of my main like fixed expenses. And I also want to let you know that I do have an automated system for my bank account. So I do put in like about 100-ish for my emergency saving. And although right now I'm not like earning that much, but I still make sure that it just gets automated to my savings, so that I make sure that I know that I'm not earning anything and that I need to save the money. So yeah, automating has really helped me. Okay, now I'm going to let you know how much I spend on miscellaneous stuff. Another thing that I have been doing is Pilates Reformer. So it does cost around $35 per week. So I was spending $180 per month. So that means I have about two classes per week, and I've stopped doing that. So I have been going like once a week, and I know that once like for this time, if I want to move out, that's going to be out of my budget right now, just so that I can save a little bit to move out. So that's something, because it's a part of like my health goals, like to stay fit and to take care of my health. I have invested in Pilates Reformer. It is not the cheapest form of exercise. I know that people spend like $10 a week for gym, and you can use it every day. So I think I might consider going to the gym depending on my expenses once I start working and when I move out. But I actually prefer to work out at home. Although I don't feel that motivated and I always get distracted, but I really see that there is perks when you work at home, because you can buy your own equipment, like if you have dumbbells, and then you can you don't have to share it with anyone else. Obviously, like a facility is better when it comes to the types of equipment you can use. And also I've noticed with Pilates Reformer, it has really helped me like get out of the house, especially if I'm like always indoors, and I like being around other people in that environment. It's very encouraging. I'm just gonna really miss my instructor, because I'm gonna live quite far from where they are right now. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out in terms of my fitness how I'm going to invest in that. But yeah, and then another thing that I do spend on is I've been spending on makeup and on clothes. So recently I feel like with makeup, it's more like a once-off thing. I usually like use my makeup for like years. So if it was like eyeshadow or like foundation, sometimes I use it for like 2-3 years or more, which isn't great. But recently I've like actually invested in like a new one, so I've just spent quite a bit on that. So and then I spend money on eyebrow pencil like as a regular thing, and eyelash like mascara. And I have been spending on like in the first few months when I was working on like fixing my nails, so that has been around $30 something, but now I've stopped. So now I don't spend money on nails. But basically, so I know this video was a bit random in terms of like facts about what I spend on, but I also wanted to talk about my budgeting plan and my budgeting journey. So like I will start with my budgeting journey, and then I'll talk about my budgeting plan if I was to earn around $800 to $1,000 a week. I would say that it is going to be tight, but it is possible. So I will talk about that now. So my budgeting journey has been pretty good, I would say, but there are years when I did really well. There are years when I didn't. So I would say that in my first year of working full-time, I had a salary of like 60k, and on the sheet it was like 59,099 about that. And this, I remembered it didn't include super. Did it include super? I don't think it included superannuation. So I would take home about $900 ish per week. And yeah, if you guys can do the math. So it was that time I was living with my dad and my mom and my sister. So I paid rent about $150, I think. It's been a while. And then that doesn't include other bills. And then at that time I also had a debt. So I had $8,000 debt for my car. So I was giving my dad money to pay that off because we borrowed money from the bank. And yeah, I managed to pay that off in 3 months by putting a repayment of $290 per month. And I actually tried to like put extra money into it so that I can pay it off really quickly. So that was really great, like that I paid it off pretty quickly with my $900 salary. And that time I was also doing pole dance. So if you guys don't know about it, yes, I did pole dance. So that was about $35 per week. And I was doing that every week. I mean, not every day. And that time I also ate out quite a bit as well. And I also had coffee like twice a week. And yeah, and I did buy some clothes for work as well, but because I had a uniform I didn't really buy that much. So to be honest, that time I spent quite a bit, but I was able to manage my expenses. And then the year after I had a salary increase of when I moved jobs of like, I don't know if it was the year after. Was it year after? It was more than a year and a bit. I got a salary increase of 71, and then I would take home about $1,100 per week. I think so. That time I was also living at home, but then halfway through I moved out, and I would spend more money on rent, so about $280 for rent, which doesn't include any bills. And I would buy my groceries, but halved it. And I would also go out quite a bit, and I'll definitely buy like more clothes for work because that job didn't have any uniform. So I definitely spent a lot more there. But I did remember I saved about up to 70k of money, including like all the savings that I've saved throughout the years, which isn't a lot, but for me was like, I was very proud of myself. So yeah, and then when I quit that job, I got a pay rise of $82,000, and I'll take home about $1,300 because that job paid super, and yeah, so that really helped. And yeah, so that was kind of like my salary until like most recently. I think my previous job was 1,000 and I took home about 1,100. because I think there's an increase in tax and super as well, so 10.5% now. So yeah, I think that's kind of my salary until most recently. So yes, in terms of my new job coming up, I know that my take-home salary will be less. I'll be taking a big pay cut. I would say plan, if you guys don't know about the budgeting rule, I used to use like the 50 30 20% rule. So 50% is your like essentials and rent, 30% is your wants, and 20% is for your savings and your investments. So I used to do that, and I don't use it like to the T, like really strictly, but now that I am going to earn less money, I am going to be more strict with this rule. So I'm actually going to change it, because I feel like 50% isn't really for me isn't really isn't really possible, because rent in Sydney is pretty high. So I do want to invest in rent, considering that I want to move closer to my sister and move closer to work and a safer place and have my independence and everything like that. So my rent will be $290 per week, and that includes all bills, so water, gas, electricity, everything like that. So it's really great. So yeah, I think I really recommend you considering like how much rent you want to use. Is that something you really care? Like, is your environment matter? So for me, because I'll be working from home for a few days, I really need to make sure that I like to stay at home as well, that my place has good internet, and that I have a safe space and a place that's quiet and where I can work and be productive. So I am investing more in where I live. So yeah, I can talk more about rental stuff and my journey in another video if you guys are interested. So I decided to actually put 63% of my money into essentials, like needs, and my rent. 63% of my salary. So that's quite a lot. And then 20% in my wants, like eating out and clothes and stuff. But I think I also, if I have leftover money, I'm going to put it into my savings. So 17% into my saving. So you're probably wondering, how did you calculate this? Well, I actually calculate like how much I'll spend per month, and then I kind of calculated it like per week. So I had a few like troubles and struggles with calculating these things. I had times when I like kind of missed things out, or like totally had it wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is pretty accurate. That's kind of, I know it's quite detailed, and that you're probably wondering why Cindy's showing all of her expenses, but to be honest, I really want to keep myself accountable too, and I also want people to know that it is possible to like support yourself on a single income, but you also need to be really like careful with your decisions when it comes to quitting, and also like how much money you spend on certain things. So yeah, it is a big struggle, and I know one day, like, you know, this is not forever, like I won't be so strict on my budget, but I feel like the biggest lesson I've learned in this journey is that lifestyle inflation, a lifestyle creep, is really real. Like, the more money you get, like the more fancy your life seems, and you will spend way more money than you actually need to. And I think I want to put in the mindset that I don't have to do that. I know what makes me happy. I know that I do want to invest in like having a space for myself where I feel really safe and really just at ease and comfortable, close to people I love. And yeah, and I also want the money to be able to like spend time with my friends and family right now. So I feel like everything else, like a fancy like dinner, or fancy clothes, or fancy things and travel, these things are really great, but right now it's not really my priority. So make sure that when you're doing the budgeting, you don't need to follow the rule like to a T. Like, outline what are the 3 top things that you want to prioritize. Is it your health? Is it your friends and family? Yeah, what do you value, and try to factor that in when you're budgeting. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys.